Virgin Galactic may be presented with a very lucrative opportunity which could launch the company to new heights. After watching visionary entrepreneur Sir Richard Branson exceed speeds of Mach 3 and soar 89 kilometers above the Earth's surface, I was convinced that Virgin Galactic will have a bright and prosperous future. That extraordinary event inspired me to create this video titled Virgin Galactic's Moon Exploration, Sir Richard Branson's Space Tourism Master Plan Explained 2021 to 2050, suborbital flights providing consistent revenue, leasing new cutting-edge spacecraft, and orbital lunar exploration. Be sure to like, subscribe, and watch this video all the way through, because using current technology and financial strategy, we can delve deep into Virgin Galactic's business model and see how these events will unfold over the next 29 years. Generating consistent revenue from suborbital flights, 2021 to 2024. Virgin Galactic currently offers two spaceflight products. Both involve Mothership Eve, carrying SS2 Unity up to an altitude of 49,000 feet, where Unity is jettisoned. The rocket engine fires, propelling the spacecraft to supersonic speeds in just 8 seconds. Unity reaches an altitude of 294,000 feet, or 89 kilometers above the Earth's surface, where the crew experience microgravity for approximately 6 minutes, before returning to their seats and gliding back to the Mojave spaceport. The total flight time is 1.5 hours. Product 1 consists of private astronauts taking in the unparalleled view and experiencing zero-G during the suborbital coast. Product 2 is targeted towards microgravity research and astronaut training. According to Virgin Galactic's Q1 2021 report, if Unity were carrying 6 private astronauts, the total revenue generated for the flight would be $1.5 million, with tickets priced at $250,000 per person. A research flight carrying 6 specialist astronauts would generate $3 million in revenue, with tickets priced at $500,000 per person. The demand for Virgin's product is high, as 600 people have already reserved private astronaut tickets, equating to $150 million. The Italian Air Force has announced a new contract with Virgin, where 3 Italian payload specialists will monitor a rack of research payloads, costing the Italian government $1.5 million. Developing cutting-edge spacecraft or leasing SpaceX launch vehicles, 2025. During the early 2020s, Virgin Galactic will operate VSS Imagine, the first Spaceship 3. Although specifications and capabilities are not yet public, Virgin states VSS Imagine features upgrades that will enable improved performance in terms of maintenance and access flight rate. This will allow the Virgin fleet to fly more often. Although a remarkable vehicle, fit with a chromium finish, VSS Imagine will remain a suborbital vehicle, therefore the user experience will be relatively similar. Looking forward to the latter half of this decade, Virgin Galactic may be presented with a very lucrative opportunity which could launch the company to new heights. Elon Musk's SpaceX will manufacture one Starship every 3.6 days, at a production cost of $2 million per unit, which is far less expensive than similar launch vehicles like the Space Launch System at $2 billion per unit. Musk is highly confident that Starship will be used to send tourists around the moon by 2023, assist NASA in landing humans on the lunar surface by 2024, and land humans on Mars by 2026. If SpaceX can achieve all of these goals before the end of the decade, then it's likely Starship will be in mass production, and this is when a partnership between SpaceX and Virgin Galactic can form. By partnering with SpaceX, Virgin Galactic can lease Starships for space tourism without having to develop an entirely new launch vehicle. A similar scenario can be found with Virgin Atlantic, where on June 22, 1984, a Boeing 747-200 was leased for the airline's inaugural flight. Why reinvent the wheel when you can just lease it? A Virgin Galactic operated Starship with 100 private astronauts aboard can generate $25 million in revenue per launch, provided the ticket sales remain at $250,000. This would be $50 million if the entire launch were occupied by specialist astronauts. If Virgin Galactic were to charge closer closer to $30,000 per ticket, this would generate $3 million per launch. Customer demand will increase because $30K saved up over a lifetime is a more attainable goal for the general public. SpaceX will eventually use Starships to make humanity a multi-planetary species. However, the launch date must be timed. The Martian transfer window opens every 2 years. This is because it takes Mars 687 days to orbit the Sun, unlike Earth, which only takes 365 days. During the 2-year transfer window, SpaceX can manufacture roughly 200 Starships, assuming one is produced every 3.6 days. Rather than Starships sitting in storage, completed Starships can be leased to Virgin Galactic for $170,000 per month with a 1-year contract. This will pay for the entire unit cost of Starship. After the lease agreement is terminated, the Starships are returned to SpaceX for their Martian voyage. Virgin Galactic's Moon Tourism 2026 to 2050. By utilizing the SpaceX Starship, Virgin Galactic can save money by not developing a brand new launch vehicle. This capital can be allocated towards more ambitious tourism missions. December 24th, 1968, over half a century ago, astronauts Frank Borman, James Lovell Jr. and William Anders became the first humans to orbit the Moon on Apollo 8. During the mission, Anders photographed Earthrise, a spectacular image of our bright blue planet against the inky darkness of space. The rather small Lunar Command Module, with an interior volume less than 2 minivans, orbited the Moon 8 times before returning to Earth. Virgin Galactic can replicate this mission with relative ease and little expense if Starship were used. Passengers would board Starship stationed on an offshore launch platform in the Gulf of Mexico. Hundreds and thousands of subcooled liquid methane and liquid oxygen enter the propellant tanks, completing the load and go procedure. Raptor engines fire, propelling the ship to a parking orbit. The majority of the propellant is used when reaching orbit, so a refueling Starship is launched. The fully fueled Starship slingshots around the Earth and heads for the Moon. During the journey, the engines are shut down and the ship begins to coast. A solar array can be deployed to power the ship and all the onboard facilities, such as life support systems, communications, and entertainment. Once reaching the lunar orbit, the 100 crew members can view the Moon, completing 8 orbits before returning to Earth and landing safely. Microgravity research and astronaut training can also occur during this extended period of 0G. A lunar flyby will require 2 Starships for refueling purposes, so ticket prices are an estimated $500,000 on the high end and $60,000 on the low end. This may seem like an unachievable goal, routine flights to the Moon's orbit for private citizens. However, just 2 decades ago, rapid reusability of private launch vehicles was a distant dream. Space is hard, but worth it. We will persevere and move forward together.